Hello everybody, my name is Tide Statistic, and today I'm going to be talking about Hunt Showdown. Hunt Showdown is supposed to be a first-person PvP bounty hunter game with heavy PvE elements. Basically, in this game, the main objective is to get your bounty and leave, but there is other people trying to get that bounty. And if they feel like it, which is the PvP part, they will try to take that bounty at all costs, which involves killing you. Now there's a couple things that you will notice is that this is in the Western times, like the Western bounty era, I guess. And a lot of the guns are Western era guns, which is pretty cool. Like you have your rifles, your shotguns, your snipers, some weapons that don't exist, your explosives, medic pouches, cocktails. Like right there's a revolver with the suppressor. And that's let's not look at that. That was probably the biggest concern that I had when I got this game, was that the weapons in general, because back in the Western times it's not like they had a huge variety of weapons. You can't pick up an AK or an M4, those didn't exist back then. So you're kind of stuck to like lever actions and bolt actions and pump actions. So in my mind I was like, well, there's only so many guns, but they actually implement quite a bit of different types of guns. Let's not look at that one. But they have different classes and different variety, or as you can see on the left hand side it says large, medium, small. You got your tools, your consumables, and your owned, so you can like pre-purchase and then kit one of your guys out. Like I said, once you purchase the person, you can select your weapon. If I wanted to switch my revolver out for a different revolver, I could purchase the other revolver and switch it out here. And different recruits, well, I guess I'm calling them recruits, come with different presets, and I think it's kind of like randomized. And they also have it to where if you run out of money, because you have to buy the recruits for about $100 or so, and if you have little to no money, you can actually get them for free, but I think they're dumbed down, or more like geared down, so you don't have as much. You'll have less gear, so instead of getting an actual lever action or a shotgun, you'll end up being stuck with a revolver. But don't get me wrong, you can actually still do a hefty amount of damage with the revolver. And on top of that, there is two different types of leveling up. If your man dies, if your recruit dies, he dies, period, done. But you can progress with him and you can get special perks as you level up. And then you have your bloodline, which is this red line that you see that I'm level 1. That is permanent, so I look at it for more like your kids. It's like your kids, but I don't know. That's just what I thought when I saw that it was called the Bloodline. This is generally a 2-player game, so if you got yourself a battle buddy, it would be pretty nice. I'm not too much of a fan of playing with a random person, so I was able to get my friend Backwoods to play with me. But yeah, I played a lot of Tarkov. And you don't spawn with random people, period. I mean, usually they'll just kill you and take your shit. But you get your battle buddy, which is what I'm going to call him. And the main goal of this is to get the contracts. Get as many contracts as you can to make as much money as you can. So you level up as much as you can to make more money. And so the main objective is to either kill the monsters and get away with contracts, or kill the people with contracts and get away with contracts. But don't worry, if you're a solo player, I'm not sure if this is permanent, but they do have a, what is it called? An event, a solo event. And this is where if you're solo, you go in solo. I'm not sure how many people are that goes into the solo match. I did play it, and I think I heard about 4 or 5 other people. And it's completely random, so it's not like you have deliberately 2 contracts that you go after, or 1 contract. It's just a question mark. So I don't, when I did it, we only had the pig monkey, or the pig monster, and that was pretty fun. But that is something that would be interesting. You go in a solo, and then there's like fucking 2, maybe even 3 contracts. I don't think they do 3 contracts, but that would be wild, and especially for a solo player, because all you need is 1 contract. Now, getting into the game, it is actually particularly smooth, which was not really one of my concerns because I'm running a 1080 Ti, but nonetheless, some people do have issues with this. So I mean, I would say if you're running anything below 1050, you probably can't run it, but this game is stable enough to where you're not having the massive lag drops. Like, for example, when I play Scum, whenever one of my friends goes by the water, they have issues, and I don't. In my opinion, there's a couple things that they could tweak with the combat system. The melee system they have is pretty good, works perfectly fine. I think the only peeve that I have is with the shooting. Now, you don't have to go guns blazing in every town to kill every zombie. Guns are optional, I guess, all the way up to the end. There are other ways to kill other monsters, like throwing a fire lantern at them and letting them burn to death. Right now, it kind of seems like it one hits everything except the bosses. But to get to the main boss, or the boss, you have to find these hints, I think they call them, and each hint shrinks the map. Like if you, yep, right there. I think they go in more detail on Steam. I'll go ahead and drop that down in the descriptions for anyone that wants to look at it. Now, like I said, you don't have to go guns blazing because sound is very important. If you shoot, everyone around you is most definitely going to know where you are, and there's only so many people in the game. Now, you'll be able to see the gun mechanic that I don't like. I'll aim, and it's below the middle of the screen, like much farther below than I would prefer. It's not that big of an issue, but it's one thing that I noticed right off the bat. So my main goal was to wait everyone out, basically. I had time, and I was like, I'll get to know this game and wait at the boss because there is only one boss in the solo. That, I instantly knew there was someone around me. Now, if you listen very carefully, you can actually hear him run around my building. So at that point, I instantly knew there was someone around me. I didn't want to give my position away because from what I understood, or from what I could observe, is that I was not compromised. But with him running around, he was the one compromised. So I would have the advantage because I could get my drop on him. I decided to take a different position, try to find a advantage point, and so I decided to clear the building next to me. And there was him shooting the boss. I'm not sure if he killed the other two people that I heard with the shotgun and what I could assume was a lever action. But I decided that I had the advantage, and I went ahead and tried taking him out. At this point, I knew that there was a one man down, and there could be potentially two other hostiles roaming to the southeast. But I went ahead and decided to stay in the building and use it as my advantage. I went ahead and sat there for a little bit, tried to listen, didn't hear anyone, so I threw the lanterns at the boss because I didn't feel like shooting, just in case there was still other individuals. And one thing I did come across was this body in this shed. This is a player, and as you can see, you can actually loot them. I did loot both of them, and they both did give me $50 each, so I guess that isn't bad for killing players, given it that guns generally cost anywhere from $4 to, I think, $30 max, which is pretty cool. I did eventually end up killing the boss and getting the soul. I don't really know the terminology that they use, but once you collect it, it says that you're banishing them, which I don't really understand. And if you press, I think it is Q on the PC, or I'm pretty sure this game is only on PC, but you press Q, you can go into this mode that I don't know the name of, and you can see like lightning bolts of the individual that captured its bounty, and they will come to get you, while you have this ability to see other players, and you only have a limited amount of time to use that, or a limited amount of use time. So I decided to beeline it to the northeast, which is the closest exit, do a nice quick 360 to see if there's any players around me, because I still thought, or I still think, that there might be those two individuals that were fighting. Best case scenario, one of them died and the other one didn't know what he was doing and ran away, but ended up beelining it towards the northeast to get out. Now, this game is different. I don't think this game reminds me of the original Xbox game called Gun. It is a Western game that was pretty fun because there were bounties and whatnot in that game. It does throw in some weird aspects. The PvP seems pretty reasonable. It's not like super overpowered. I did have to shoot the guy 4 times, 4 or 5, like 5 times with my lever. I've used the pistol, and the pistol's alright. It doesn't do as much damage, but it's a lot faster. So, emergency, you can put more down range than the lever action. But the guns seem reasonably balanced. I don't think I've gotten a headshot yet. I've always gone for body shots. It's just natural instinct. The customization, as in you can kit yourself out with basically whatever you want, as long as you get the levels, which I think that would be the hardest issue, is getting the levels compared to getting the money, because I made a fuck ton of levels for my individual character, but my bloodline only went up 1 level, which isn't an issue. I think I went up 10 levels on my level 1 or 9 levels on my level 1 character and 1 level on my bloodline. There is a timer. I think I ended up spending about 37 minutes in this game, which I didn't have an issue with. And the extraction zone, which is right here, I think there was 3, is kind of like Escape from Tarkov, where you have the countdown and you kind of just sit there and wait to be taken away. Now, if I was to have to rate this game, I mean, the last time I played a Western game was Red Dead Redemption, and I had a blast with that. But this game, I would say, you get yourself a nice battle buddy, you can have some pretty fun times. If I was to rate this on a scale of 1 to 100, please keep in mind this is still in early access, and I didn't really find that many bugs. Oh yeah, something I left out. You can revive your teammate if they go down. But I would have to say I would give this like a solid 86 out of 100. One thing I would like to see though is different maps and different bosses. So far what I could tell is that there is only 2 bosses, the spider and the pig monkey thing. And there's only 1 map, and I would most definitely love if there was more than 1 map, because changing scenery can change a lot in the game, because repetitively doing the same map over and over again can burn you out on it pretty fast. Let me know what you guys think about this game down in the comments section. If you guys want to see me play anything else, go ahead and drop that down too, and if you liked the video, go ahead and hit that like button, and if you want to see more, subscribe.